I'm Corbett Wall with DV Auction, here with your feeder flash for Tuesday, January the 3rd, brought to you in part by the Feeder Flash Beaver Clash. That's the first big feeder cattle special that we've got involved with, and that's going to be at Beaver County Stockyards on January the 10th, sponsored by Farapiece, which is the weaning product that you put on the calves' faces over their poll and down their muzzle. It calms them down, helps them get through the weaning process, and has made a big difference on the health of those calves, those freshly weaned calves. And you guys need to check it out if you haven't heard about it. But Farapiece, going to be having a big sale for the Feeder Flash Beaver Clash. Going to be a lot of yearlings there. Be a lot of calves there too. Also having a sale here today at Beaver County Stockyards, and they've got probably 20 loads of all black yearling feeders there. They've got a ton, probably 1,200 head of young short weaned yearling types. They're long weaned calves. Be just right to turn out if a guy had some place to turn them out. But of course, this last big cold spurt has pretty much zapped any kind of forage that we had out there. But don't forget, next week's Feeder Flash Beaver Clash on January the 10th. Going to be a big sale. You can view and bid that sale on dvauction.com. Talk about the new year, 2023. Your checks are going to be messed up for probably the whole first month of the new year, trying to write 2023 on there. But as we look to the new year, let's look back and see how we ended up last year. Give you some prices compared to the end of 2022 to the end of the previous year of 2021. Your rib primal cutout at the end of 2022 was at $259.42, which sounds pretty impressive, but at the end of 2021 it was at $264.34. So maybe there is a little bit more room for this live cattle market. Your 5 area live steers, your weighted average at the end of last week, at the end of the year that was still within the year, was 156.26, but actually we wound up the year at 158.06. That compares to the end of 2021 was 135.64. So there was a lot more gravy at the end of 2021 for your packers than there was at the end of 2022, but I think there's still some more room in this live cattle market. You look at your feeder cattle auction receipts year to date at the end of 2022, they were 3% less than the previous year, which seems normal because we are so light on our numbers, and we're going to be down probably about 3% on our inventory whenever we get the new report coming out here pretty quick. Compared to the 5-year average, 2022's year-to-date auction receipts were 6% lighter than the 5-year average. Look at some prices. Your North Central 8-weight steers ended 2022 at $180.34 on the average, compared to the previous year at $160.46. So it's $20 right there that we've increased in your 8 weights in the North Central states. South Central states 5-weight steer averaged $195.13 compared to the previous year at $174.28, about $20. How about Southeastern 4-weight? A lot of those would be shipped back into the central part of the country for either backgrounding on wheat, which there's really not any anymore. It's all crawled back in the ground after that last cold spurt, but to put into a growing yard or something. But Southeastern 4-weights ended the year at $187.68 compared to the end of the previous year at $172.76. Had several replacement type sales over the holidays between Christmas and New Year's and in and about. December 29th at Stockman's Livestock Exchange in Dickinson, North Dakota, they sold young bred cows as high as 2,300 on several groups there. With one stickout group there, a special deal, 19 head of 4-year-old bred cows at 3,500. Bred heifers in Dickinson, North Dakota, right between Christmas and New Year's. Bred heifers sold up to $21.50, with one special 8-head group bringing $24.25. I was down at a special commercial replacement cow sale in South Texas on December the 29th. Cattleman's Columbus, Texas livestock auction there. They sold one consignment of Brangus pairs. I mean, fancy Brangus pairs, the kind you'd want down in South Texas. And they were bred to and had 44 program calves at their side. Pretty nice. They sold up to $27.50 just west of Houston, Texas there. Several young Brangus bred cows there, same kind of type, and some Brangus or some Brayford Tiger Stripes young bred cows sold up to $24.50. So pretty hot sale down there in South Texas. Let's talk about your board ending up the week between Christmas and New Year's. December live cattle futures. Of course, Monday was the actual Christmas holiday because it fell on Sunday, but Tuesday after Christmas there was down 7 cents on your December live cattle. Wednesday was up 62. Thursday was up $1.05. Friday fell way off, down 367. Of course, there was no trade left in that contract, but it ended up settling at 154.82, and that would be $3.50 underneath what the 5 area weighted average was. But your December live cattle futures ended the week down 208 with that big sell-off there on limited trading at the very end of that contract compared to the end of the previous week, which was right before Christmas. But February contracts were a little more normal, ending the week at 157.90, which was close, but still less than what your 5 area weighted average was, and that was actually up 15 cents a hundred for the week. January feeder cattle, of course, Monday was the Christmas holiday. Tuesday was down 90. Wednesday was up 37. Thursday up 32. Friday down 10 cents. January feeder cattle ended the week last week at 183.70. That was down 30 cents for the week. March feeder cattle ended the week at 186.22, down 53 cents. March corn ended the week last week at 678.5 cents a bushel. That was up 12.25 cents a bushel. January beans ended the week at 15.19 up 40.25 cents a bushel. Your fat cattle trade for the week between Christmas and New Year's, up through Thursday. The USDA was closed on Monday, this latest Monday, because of the January 1st New Year's holiday that landed on Monday, even though a lot of people had gone back to work. But through Thursday of last week, they'd sold 29,100 head, which isn't terrible, I guess, in your 5 area feeding region for the week between Christmas and New Year's. But your price spread on live steers and heifers in your 5 area feeding region was 155 to 160, was a full buck higher than the previous week, which was also a holiday week. Your weighted average was a lot higher, was 158.06. That was up $2.16 compared to the previous week. Dress sales, steers and heifers ranged from 248 to 252. That was a full $3 higher on your spread, and the weighted average on dress steers was 251.09, up $2.36. Had some more trade on Friday. Iowa sold 1,600 head confirmed on Friday, 21,500 head for the week, which is pretty decent for them. Live sales 156 to 158. Dress sales 252. Nebraska sold 7,500 head on Friday. Total 12,600 head for the week between Christmas and New Year's. Live sales 157 to 158. Dress sales 250 to mostly 252. Big gains on dress steers right there at the tail end of the year. Kansas sold 6,200 head on Friday, 8,000 head for the week. All your live sales in the Southern Plains were at 157 last week between Christmas and New Year's, and that was a full buck higher than the previous week, which was a buck higher than the week before that. So we did gain quite a bit of ground there at the tail end of the week. Texas sold 3,100 head last week, 5,400 head for the week, all at 157. Box beef cutout values gained big during the holiday season, which is not really like normal. But we did see some big gains. That's too late to see any advantage from your holiday ordering from your end users and your retailers. They were just getting ready for the new year. But choice boxes, your weighted average for all of last week's sales was 280.07. That was up 13.89 compared to the previous week, and most all of that happened on the first day of the week last week, right after Christmas there. And your late week sales right before New Year's were $2 higher than that at 281.98. Your weighted average on last week's select sales, select cutouts, 248.64, up 9.43 for the week. And your late week quotes were about $1.25 higher than that at 250.93. Choice select spread on your weighted average last week was 31.43, and pretty meek sales of 347 loads of cuts, grinds, and trimmings. Your slaughter last week for your week between Christmas and New Year's, 547,000, 15,000 less than the previous week, but 23,000 more than the same week a year earlier. Coming to you from El Reno, Oklahoma. We're in town here setting up a DV auction broadcasting system at OKC West. If you're used to watching OKC West online, you're going to have to get on dvauction.com now. If you're used to bidding on there, you need to get on there and get approved to bid. Get a hold of the girls in the office there and let them know that you're interested in bidding on there. And it's just like any other system you used before. But from now on, going forward, going to be OKC West on dvauction.com. Let's talk about your feeder cattle market for last week. Your real-time index, based on an 800-pound steer up through your middle 12 states, reported through Cattle Market Central with DV Auction. Your up-to-date RTI was 180.46. It plummeted $3.90 because we had some special sales there right through the holidays in the Northern Plains that kind of had it jacked up on light receipts, and it's getting kind of back into normal. It'll get fully back to normal by the middle of this week, but 180.46 based on an 800-pound cash auction steer. Some of your big sales to start this week out, getting back to business. Joplin Regional Stockyard sold 10,000 head on Monday. Compared to 2 weeks prior, your steers sold $4 to $7 higher. Heifers $6 to $11 higher. Most of the gain was seen on your stocker types, on your long-time weaned calves that people are wanting to get in on. An individual quote out of Joplin that was pretty impressive on those lightweights was 90 head, 503-pound steer calves at $228.50. That's a Sandhill, Nebraska type quote come out of Joplin Regional Stockyards, guys. Russell Livestock Auction, Russell, Iowa had a big sale on Monday. 5,600 head. No recent comparison for them because they'd been shut down quite a while for the holidays, but really active market, good demand there, and prices were very, very respectable. Give you some individual quotes from around the circuit on Monday. Callaway Livestock Center in Kingdom City, Missouri, sold 61 head, 805-pound feeder steers at $183.50. Sioux Falls Regional Livestock in Worthing, South Dakota, sells 58 steers, weighed 654 at $197. But the most impressive quote that I saw anywhere on Monday, with a lot of sales being shut down still for the holidays, but Joplin Regional Stockyards had your Macrocin, no BS, top quote for the day was 53 steers, weighed 774 at $191.50. That's your feeder flash for Tuesday.